This is Jesse Newell with this week's Inside the Play segment. Today we're going to look at a pair of plays that represent KU's biggest weakness so far defensively, which has been defending long passes. So far this year, KU's given up 13 plays of 20 yards or more through the air, which is actually tied for the worst in the nation. I talked to a Division I assistant coach about these two plays, and this first one is like the one we talked about last week. It's actually a run-pass combo. If you look to the top of the screen, the receiver actually up here is actually blocking. The fullback actually is blocking as well, so this is a zone left play. And the quarterback on this play is reading one player in particular for KU. He's reading safety Fish Smithson. If Fish stays back, then KU is going with a too-high safety look. It's a great opportunity to run the ball because there's not as many people up to cover the run. However, Fish Smithson crashes on this play, so the quarterback pulls the ball back, and he's got two receivers to the bottom of the screen. One is running a bubble screen, the other is running a slant. Now, this is obviously a hard play to defend because of what Memphis does and the complexity of this play, but the one person who could do a better job here is KU cornerback Brandon Stewart. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, he gets beat on a slant route across his face, which is basically football lingo for going across his body. If you're Brandon Stewart here, you have help from a one-high safety. KU's in cover one here has Michael Glatzek back to cover the deep middle of the field. You're wanting to force him more to the outside. Make him beat you on a fade or on a long passing play. But by getting beat shallow over the middle, you have no help, and this is a play where he really should be trying to force that receiver more to the outside than he does. Memphis quarterback makes a good throw, receiver makes a great move, and that's a first down and a 20-yard gain for Memphis on this first play. Second play is actually the next one on the possession, and KU, from the coach's perspective that I talked to, looks to be misaligned here. You see all these players deep if we freeze it at this point. Memphis has a great opportunity here to run the ball, to throw a bubble screen. There should be some yardage there. Actually, it's going to be tough to complete a deep pass, but that's actually exactly what Memphis does here. If we look, this is an example of a double move on a cornerback. Tyrone Miller's at the top of the screen. This receiver for Memphis runs a slant and go. So you can see him run a slant and then do a double move, and boom, he goes toward the top of the screen. Tyrone Miller here is thinking, oh no, I might be beat. And what you often see on this play is that receiver going straight down the field, running a go, and getting a long ball thrown to him. Now, this is where the back shoulder throw is so effective. And this is where Memphis' quarterback does an amazing job. He sees that this defender has his eyes only on the receiver because he's trying to catch up. When this happens, he throws the ball behind him to the back shoulder. There's no way that KU's cornerback can adjust to the ball the way the receiver can, and this is a perfectly thrown ball. Even though it has some air under it, it's able to be there where the receiver can make an adjustment to it. One other thing that my coach saw, if we freeze this play a few seconds in, this is crazy because Memphis is in a max protect here. They have 7 guys protecting against 4 KU pass rushers. And in football, that means Memphis only has 3 guys going out and running on the route, and KU has 7 defenders to defend that. It's really tough usually to complete a pass when you have 7 defenders covering on 3 receivers. But if we freeze it at this point, KU's linebackers here are in no man's land. They're really just, as my coach put it, they're defending grass and they're not really doing much out there. So this is another example of inexperience. If you're a linebacker here and you're not really doing anything, you're not rushing the passer, they might not be able to prevent this long throw, but you've got to run back and try to prevent maybe a dig route, maybe a comeback route. Do the best that you can to defend something instead of just watching the quarterback and not really doing anything in this no man's land. What these two plays show most to me is just KU's inexperience. This is the challenge that KU's coaches and KU's players have the rest of the season. They'll look to get better against Rutgers next week. Thanks for checking out the Inside the Play session here on Hawkzone.com.